I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? Okay, yes. So we got it all over the place. You can get us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and all that stuff. But most of all, please go to our guest website that we have today. Author Jerrel Wolfe is on the show. I am just so excited to have him here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Yaya. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so I asked this question to all my authors because I want to know the truth. How did you know, or did you know at all, that you were going to be writing books?
I never had a clue that I would be writing books.
Awesome.
And to this point, I've written 3.
3 books that you had no idea. Okay, so how did this begin?
Well, I guess it began back when I was in high school, when I actually learned to type. Was one of the most important things I've ever done, because it facilitated me getting into being able to do what I have done. Following that, went through college, got into a little bit of journalism, radio, television, communications was my degree. And then I went into the military and started my own business after that, and pretty much never had a thought to write.
So where did writing come in? I mean, you got to tell me, because you're keeping me in suspense here. That's a writer's trait.
Everybody has high points and low points in their life. And the lowest point of my life was when this gift was given to me by a higher power. I was back in 2005. I had going through a divorce, had 2 children that I had, 2 teenagers that I had to get through school and get through college. Had a massive amount of debt, my business plus another business that I was going to have to run for my departed other. And so I took it all upon my shoulders. And in that period of time, I was in a lot of depression. And I figured if I was ever going to get with another woman, it would either be a good Christian woman or a widow. I didn't want to have to go through what I went through. And so on the internet, I happened to meet a very fine Christian woman from Oklahoma. And she told me, she said, you're speaking in Limerick. And I said, what do you mean? She says, well, everything you say has a rhyme to it. She said, you should be writing down your thoughts. So that weekend, I sat down at the typewriter and somebody turned on the faucets. I probably wrote 200 pieces that weekend. It was just amazing what happened from pen to paper.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that was my gift, and it was given to me by a higher power. And what else can I say?
Wow, that is amazing. So did you surprise yourself? Okay, so after the fact, you looked at the papers, you looked at what you just did, and what happened after that?
I was very surprised. I posted some of them on the internet. I got great responses from the internet. I put together a book and had it published. And then subsequent to that, I had a second book published. And I had a lot of pieces for a third book, but I was busy with everything I had to get done to get my life back on track. So I just kind of shelved it and put it in a corner. And so 15 years hence, I have the time now that I'm retired. And I thought I would get back into it. And so I have done that. And I've produced this book called Poetic Perspectives. And it covers a gamut of topics.
Wow. Wow. So tell me, okay, so all of this to get to where you are today, you said you have 2 other books besides this one. This is your third?
Yes. My first book was titled Discoveries. The second book was called Reflections. And I always had the intent to produce a third book, but I just put it on the back burner.
Right, right. So the third book, how much more are you able to give now with the experience that you have as a writer in the third book that you probably didn't have in the first 2?
Well, my first 2 books, it flowed like water. Everything just flowed. It was a gift given to me from a higher power, and it flowed. The third book, even though the third book consists of many of the pieces I wrote back in 2008, 9, and 10, but as a poet, you need to go to a space where you can actually, pen to paper your thoughts. So all great poets have to find that space, and from there they can, work their artistic brush.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. So tell me about this new book, Poetic Perspective. Sorry. I just want to make
All
sure
right.
I got that name right because I want to make it's a PP. So Poetic Perspectives.
Yeah. The book is patriotic, it's spiritual, it's historical, it's about love, life, birth, pre-birth, death. It covers many topics, and it's just a fantastic read. It's an easy read, and it's a great gift for anyone of any age. I would bet my bottom dollar that no matter who purchases this book, they would gain something from it.
Wow. Why all the topics?
Why all the topics?
Yeah.
They just come to me. Uh, for example, my daughter was pregnant to have her first child, so I wrote a piece about embryo, and the piece was about the embryo experiencing what she was experiencing inside, the sounds, and what she was expecting at birth. I write about our soldiers, the soldiers who have lost their lives, the respect that they deserve. I write about Black history. I write about the Massachusetts 54th Regiment of Black soldiers who gave their lives. I write about slavery. I write about masted ships. I write about the holidays. I write about Halloween and Christmas. I've written about a hobo who, rode the freight trains and connected with a young runaway. Just stories that come to me. It's like you give me a topic, and I'll knock you out a beautiful story.
Wow. Are these stories, some of them maybe your experience or just things that you have in your mind that maybe could have happened or maybe not?
Well, I found when I initially started writing that my personal experiences were what I was penning to paper. And then as I got toward the second book, I realized, you've got to stop writing about, your issues and things that have happened to you along the way, and think about, more deeper topics that people can enjoy. And so that's when I just started, my genre changed a little bit. And I can now just write stories about the Pony Express, your postal carrier, the zoo, just so many things. And it's all in Limerick. And they're just beautiful little short stories that everybody can get something from.
Wow. I like that. Writing the short stories in comparison to the novels, what is that like? Okay, because I mean, some people can sit down and write a whole novel, and some people just have the short stories. Is one better than the other, or are they both comparable?
I don't believe that I could sit down and write a novel. Uh, what I what I get when I get into poetic mode is just something short, concise, and something that has a lot of meaning to it, and something that where you can live vicariously in that piece. You can actually feel yourself sitting on the dock of the bay. You can feel yourself at the harbor. Uh, it's
I got you. I got you.
yeah, that's
And
basically.
I understand where you're coming from. Okay, so being in poetry, have you ever thought about writing maybe some short stories along with your poetry, kind of like inside of the poetry, or is that what you already do?
No, I'm really engrossed in what I do. I like going to the place where I can pen to paper my thoughts and feelings of the moment,
Yeah.
not get into something that would be a novel or something that would be that long.
Mm, mm, mm. I love it. And poetry, it's a beautiful thing. I think the poetry is wonderful. And I think that, writing that and then writing it in your intimate moments and being a personalization of you, what do you want the reader to come across, and to come out of your books?
Uh, I want you to be able to realize who you are, where you are, how you've been blessed, that you do have a future, no matter how bad things are in life. The glass is either half full or half empty. It's how you look at things. And this is how my poetry is penned to paper in that manner. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
And what kind of advice do you give people who may be like, oh, I'm going to write that because that's just not a full story. It's just a poem, whatever. I mean, they're feeling kind of down about their abilities. What do you tell them?
Well, you never know what you're going to put on that piece of paper. And if you don't pen it to paper when it's on your mind at that particular moment, you'll lose it forever. I find myself sitting sometimes on an airplane and looking out into the clouds, and something comes across my mind, and I don't take the time to pen it down saying, I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to pen that to paper, and then I forget it, and it's gone. And it was a beautiful thing at the moment, and something that people could have enjoyed. So if you have a thought, put it on paper. If nothing ever comes of it, you still have a piece of paper.
Wow. To me, that's amazing. I love that. I love the whole, yeah, you're right. Cause I have like books and notebooks everywhere, but also
well, with the advent of the cell phone, it's become a lot easier, because if I get a thought, I can record that thought really quick, and then I can bring it back later when I can't remember it. But I've lost some really nice pieces because I put them on the phone and then didn't hit the right button and didn't save it. So wow, that's gone, and that was fantastic. And it's
I know. I feel you. I feel you. I've done that before too. Wow. Wow. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Wolfe, for being on the show. I appreciate it so very much.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And people can find Poetic Perspectives on Amazon, and is there any other place that they can find it?
It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You'll find it on Walmart, Target, many other sites on the internet. If you put in Poetic Perspectives, Jerrel Wolfe, it'll pop right up there for you, as well as my other books. And also my website, jerrelwolfe.com. You can go there and check that out.
Awesome. Awesome. We also have you on Facebook for Jerrel Wolfe, and the information and your link and all of that stuff will be in the description box below. And we'll also do our best to put your book in our book club. So thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it one more time, and keep writing those poems, man. I tell you, I love poetry. I think it's just beautiful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go to jerrelwolfe.com, or go ahead and type in on Amazon or wherever you would like to shop for your books, Poetic Perspectives by Jerrel Wolfe. I am going to go ahead and say see you guys later. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.
Yeah.